Hi, I'm Troy from Studio 33 Guitar. Thanks for watching. Today we're looking at how to play When I Come Around by Green Day. Now, this song was originally recorded by Green Day in 1994 and it was an instant hit in the 90s. The great thing about this song is that it uses some really simple chords that repeat, so it's easy even for a beginner to pick up. Now the timing and the rhythm of this song is a little bit trickier, so I'm going to break that down and show you exactly how to play it. I'll also show you some simplified alternatives so that even if you're a brand new beginner, you'll be able to get this song down. Now, one thing to point out, this song originally was recorded in E-flat tuning, meaning that each of the strings on the guitar are tuned down. Now, to make it easier for you to play along with me, I have left this in standard tuning so you don't have to retune your guitar to play this song. But if you want to play along with the original recording, you will need to retune your guitar or find an app that can bring the original up to proper standard tuning. And as always, with my song lessons, you can download a free PDF of the chords and lyrics of the song that'll make it easier to follow along. You can get that on my website, studio33guitar.com. So let's jump right in, zoom in on the neck, and have a look at how to play When I Come Around. This song uses mostly power chords, and if you don't know how to play a power chord, I would encourage you to watch my recent video where I explain exactly how to play power chords, and I include some tips in there that are often missed when people are explaining power chords. But for now, I'll show you the basic way to play a power chord. So this song starts with a G power chord. So we're going to put our index finger on the 3rd fret, that's our G note. And then we're going to play at the 5th fret on the next string down. Now there's a couple of different ways you can do this, but if you want to use your ring finger, you can put that there. And then you can place your pinky finger directly below that on the next string down, and you're going to play those 3 notes together. Now when you play that, it's important to play with your fingers flat so that this finger will lie across these other strings to keep them from ringing, because you don't want to play all 6 strings. You want to leave these other strings muted. So to do that, use your index finger just to rest against those strings. So you have those 3, and if you play through, you'll get dead notes on those other strings, and that's really important when you're playing power chords. Now, if you're not comfortable using those 2 fingers there, you can bar across there using your pinky finger or your ring finger. And if you really want to make it simple, you can avoid playing that 3rd note and just play these 2 notes together, and that will give you a slightly different sounding power chord. But on the original, you can hear he does add that 3rd note in there. And it makes the chord just a little bit more full. Now I'd encourage you to try and play it this way, because later in the song you will need to make a slight change to this chord shape, and by having your fingers already in this position, it'll make it a lot easier. First I'll show you the chords we're going to use, and then we'll walk through the rhythm of this. So the first chord is a G power chord. The second chord is a D, so we're just going to take our index finger and move it down to the next string at the 5th fret and have that same shape with the next 2 strings. Then we're going to go up to an E, which is just up 2 frets. For now, same shape. I'll show you something a little different with that chord in a minute. And then down to a C chord. Same string down to the 3rd fret with the index. And those are the 4 chords that you need for the intro and the verse. Now I mentioned that E chord. Now on the original recording, it's actually an E minor chord that he plays. So you have these fingers in position like we had, and then you're just going to add your middle finger to the next string down, and then back 1 fret from those other 2 fingers. And you can still use your index finger to block that high string, because you don't really need that to ring out. Now that's an E minor chord. Now again, if that's a little bit tricky for you right now, you can just leave that minor off, so leave the middle finger off and just play it as a power chord, that'll be fine. But in the original recording, it is an E minor chord, and you can hear that extra note in there. So there's 2 ways you can do that. If you want to play it like the other chords, you can. If you want to make it more like the original, you can add that middle finger down and make it a minor chord. Now let's look at the timing and the rhythm of these chord changes. Now, the basic rhythm of this song is we're going to be counting 8th notes. So regular counting, you would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now each of those is 1 bar. Now for this song, the easier way to count it is to count eighth notes, which would be like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The rhythm we want to have is counting that same way, so it would be something like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now I'm also adding in some palm muting. Now again, if you don't know what palm muting is, I do have a video on my channel that explains exactly how to do this. But the basic idea is you're going to rest the palm of your hand on the strings right back near the bridge. And you can play around with exactly where that placement is, but it should be just in front of the bridge will give you the best sound. Now there's going to be times when we hit the chords that we're going to want to lift that off to let the chords ring out a little bit more, and I'll show you that in a minute. So let's start with a really simple rhythm. So we're counting eighth notes: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So our basic rhythm would be like this. The first chord is on beat 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and. Then our D chord is on 3 and 4, 3 and 4 and. Then our E chord is on 1 again, 1 and 2, and then our C chord on 3, 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now to get this more like the original, the timing of these chord changes is going to change just a little bit. So that first chord, we're not going to play it on beat 1, but we're going to play it on beat 2. But we're going to start with a couple of dead notes for beats 1 and. So we're going to use our palm to mute against the strings. And then with this hand, we're just going to lightly put the hand on the strings. We're not going to squeeze the notes down. So when we play the strings, it's going to be like this. We just get that dead sound. So when we count, we're going to count 1 and 2. And 2 is where we're going to hit the chord. So we do dead notes first. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. So we're squeezing with the note, and then we're lifting the palm muting off at the same time. 1 and 2. Then we're going to have another dead note that's going to be the and after 2. So we got 1 and 2 and. And then we're going to play that D chord on beat 3. So we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So we're hitting that chord on beats 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then we're moving up to that E chord, and you can either make that minor chord or leave it as a regular E power chord. And we're hitting that on beat 1. So from the beginning, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1. And now we're going to go down to the C chord. That's going to come in on the and after 2. So that sounds a little bit confusing, but that's going to be like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So a little bit more up to speed would be like this. It's important to get that timing because having that last chord come in on the and really gives it a push. And that's really what makes the rhythm interesting on this song. Now for me, when I play that E minor chord, in order to really get that minor sound, I usually hit that chord on an upstroke before I go to that C. And that just helps to ensure that I get that higher note. So you'll notice as I play it, when I do that last time I hit that E chord before the C, I'll do an upstroke. So that looks like this. So you can play around with that and see if that makes it a little bit easier for you as well. You can either do it with all down strums, or you can add in that up if you want to. The next section of the song, he goes to an A power chord. Now that is played with the open A string, and then the next 2 strings down, we're going to bar that with our index finger. And this is where he sings "No Time to Search the World Around." And on that chord, he's hitting all of the 8 notes. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. From there, we're going to a C chord, the same way that we played it earlier. And we're doing the same rhythm, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Back down to the A, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Back to that C. Now on this one, we're only going to count to 3 and then we're going to stop. So that's going to be like this, 1 and 2 and 3. And that's where he sings "When I Come Around." So counting that section, it sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And with the lyrics, that section would sound like this. No time to search the world around, 'cause you know where I'll be found when I come around. That's the entire song. If you like this video, then please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to learn more songs like this, check out this playlist right here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.